My friends, I've finally done it. I finally done it after so many years of wanting to do it. I bought gold. It shines so beautifully and I really want to share it with you, and I can't wait to actually show you the gold that I bought. Here it is. Yeah, I know, I bought only 1 gram of gold. Sorry to disappoint you, maybe you thought that I bought a really big quantity of gold, but that's what I got, and I gotta say, it looks pretty good, huh? Look, I will zoom even more so you can see it. It's 1 gram. Isn't it pretty? And by the same occasion, I bought 1 ounce of pure silver. Here it is, you see, with this face of the regretted Elizabeth II, and also a leaf that represents Canada. And as you know, I am an absolute nerd about real estate investment. And since I invested into gold, I would like to take this occasion to compare real estate investment with gold. Which one is the best? Well, given my activity, you're gonna tell me that I'm biased, but let's do a comparison nonetheless, as objectively as possible. I will compare gold investment and real estate investment in 4 pillars. Those 4 pillars are the 4 ways that you can build wealth: appreciation, then income, then protection, and finally, free wealth. The 4th one might sound a bit mysterious, but hold on until the end and you'll know everything about it. Before going forward, I would like to say that in this video, I'm comparing gold with real estate, but really that applies to all precious metals, whether that is silver, platinum, palladium, whatever that may be. That being said, let's start with number 1, the first way that you can build wealth, which is appreciation. It's very straightforward. You buy low and then you sell high for a profit, hopefully. I'm gonna take an extreme example. You buy this coin of silver for 20 bucks and a bit later you sell it for 30 bucks. You made 10 bucks of profit. How did gold appreciate over time? Very simple. Let's look at a chart. As you can see this chart, gold has hovered around an average price for quite a long time, for quite a few decades actually. And then in the 2000s, it completely shoot up. It skyrocketed. And again, it stabilized around a long-term average, so to speak, with some pretty big valleys and big rises. So we can say that gold has a pretty good appreciation over time. Let's say that if you buy gold over 30 years, you can have some reassurance that it's going to appreciate over time, so this is a pass. However, I would say one thing. The appreciation of gold is not that gold is becoming more scarce or more in demand, properly speaking. It's more that the money, you know, the US dollar, the Japanese yen, the euro, whatever that may be, is losing value compared to the gold. And as you can see, gold can have pretty big highs and pretty big lows. Because let's remember one thing, gold is a commodity and it is subject to the law of supply and demand. And gold is used in several industrial applications, for example, to do microchips. And now let's compare the appreciation of real estate. Since I live in Switzerland, I'm going to look at the appreciation of real estate in Switzerland, but the chart is more or less similar wherever you live. As you can see, there's always been a steady increase of the price of real estate. For a very simple reason, because the population is growing, people want to live in bigger and nicer places, but the supply of real estate, well, it's limited. As a consequence, the price of real estate here in Switzerland, and that applies in Europe, in America, to pretty all the places, has increased steadily. So who wins between gold and real estate when it comes to appreciation? Well, my answer is pretty clear, real estate wins. Why? Because the appreciation of real estate is much more steady and much more predictable compared to gold. It is not subject to so many wild swings like gold, so that is why it is a winner, and also let's face it, we will always need a place to live in. Now comes the second round and the second pillar of building wealth, income. This one is also pretty simple. You buy an asset and it gives you an income. Now, let's start again with gold. Does it give any income? Well, no. For example, this ounce of gold, I bought it. It is on the shelf over there that you cannot see, but it doesn't give me any income. Even worse, investing in gold and other precious metals can actually give you negative income. In other words, cost you money. Because if you buy really big amount of gold, you cannot have it under your mattress or just like me on the shelf over there. You need to keep it somewhere, very often at the bank. And the service is not free, of course. This is going to cost you money. Same thing if you buy gold online through different platforms. It's going to cost you money because somebody has to keep this gold and have a watch on it. So there it's pretty clear, gold doesn't give you any income, quite the opposite, it costs you money to own gold. Now let's come to real estate. I always say that the biggest power of real estate is the ability to give you passive income that you can count on. You buy a property, you rent it to tenants, those tenants they pay you the rent, every month regularly and you get a profit out of it. Pretty straightforward, it's an income you can really count on. So here, no need to make a short story long, the clear winner in this one is again real estate, 2-0. Now comes protection. What does that mean? It means that this investment you're going to do is going to protect you against inflation and economic crises. It means that ideally the price of this investment is going to increase when there is inflation so that it can offset the impact of inflation, and the price of it is going to at least remain steady or even increase when there is an economic crisis to protect you against the effects of the crisis. Now let's start again with gold. How does it protect your wealth? Well, we can say that gold and precious metals in general, they protect you against economic crises. For example, in September 2001 or in 2008, the price of gold skyrocketed. It also did in the period 2020-2021 during the COVID crisis. Just like the Swiss franc. Actually, the Swiss franc is almost a precious metal. And when it comes to inflation, let's say that the result is not the same there. Well, in the 1970s, when inflation was high, the price of gold indeed went up and protected you against inflation. But in the more recent inflation that we had between 2021, 22, 23, 24, it was a bit different. Sometimes, in some of those years, the price of gold went up, and sometimes it really didn't, and it even crashed a little bit, like in 2022. But it is still a pretty good protection, so let's say that, yes, gold protects your capital. And now, how does real estate protect your capital? Pretty darn well. When it comes to economic crises, it depends. Sometimes the price of houses can really go up when there is an economic crisis, like it happened again in 2020, 2021, or it can crash down, like in 2008. But remember, in a time of crisis, if you keep your house, it's still going to give you the same income, right? If you don't sell, this sharp decline in prices is not a loss for you because you're going to still receive the income from the tenant. So just because of the fact that real estate keeps giving you a passive income even when there is an economic crisis, we can say it's a pretty good protection. When it comes to inflation, that's when real estate really shines. Because when there is inflation, what does it mean? It means that the price of everything is going up, which means that necessarily also the price of housing is going up, which is offsetting all the negative effects of inflation on you. And also when inflation goes up, usually as a landlord, you're allowed to increase the rent, to make the rent more expensive, to offset the effects of inflation. So actually when inflation goes up, your income as a property owner is also going to increase. And for that reason, we can say that real estate is a very good protection of your capital. So who wins this round? Gold or real estate? Let's be fair and let's say it's a tie. 1 point each, which makes 3 points for real estate and 1 point for gold. And now comes the final round and the fourth pillar of wealth that I called free equity or free wealth. And let me tell you one thing, this free wealth is what made me fall in love with real estate. What is free wealth? It's very simple. When you buy real estate, you're going to buy it with debt. You're going to get a mortgage from the bank to be able to buy the real estate, and you're going to have a down payment, which is your equity. For example, if you buy a property that is worth 500K, you're going to pay 100K from your own pocket. This is your equity, and the bank is going to lend you 400K. This is the mortgage. And as the years go on, you have to pay off the mortgage, right? You have to pay off this debt. But you're not paying this debt with your own pocket. You're paying this debt with the rent that you're receiving from your tenants, which means that your equity is increasing, and you're increasing this equity without using any money of your own pocket. And this is the superpower of real estate, and that is exactly what I call free wealth. If we take again our previous example, after 5 years, your equity on this property is going to be worth $200,000. It means that you got 100K worth of free equity. Equity that literally fell from heaven. Let me repeat that. You're 100K richer without you putting any money of your own pocket. And this is not taking into account the appreciation of the property. So this round is going to be very quick, and it's even a knockout round. Because here the clear winner is real estate. Gold cannot give free wealth. Actually, no other investment can give free wealth. This is something that only real estate can give you. So sorry gold, you got knocked out in this fourth round. So at the end, who wins? Well, real estate 4-1. Again, I would like to repeat that I am a real estate entrepreneur, so what I say on the topic is probably biased, but I would like to know what you think about it. What do you think is better between real estate or precious metals? Let me know in the comments below. That being said, if you want to know more about real estate, if you want to know more about this free equity that I mentioned before, I invite you to download my ebook. This copy that you can see here is in French, but it's also available in English in the link that is in the description below. You can get your book in paperback format like this one, or in Kindle format. Here I go into the detail in the comparison of real estate versus gold, free equity, and everything that has to do with real estate. After reading this book, real estate investing will have no secrets for you. Alright, this is the end of this video. If you like this one, please give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing to this channel, and I will see you very soon.